Welcome all to NFL Pub Hub Super Bowl edition. It is Tuesday night, the week of Super Bowl 57. All the props are out, all of the action is out, and I cannot believe this is our last football game to break down. What a season we've had. I went 107 wins and 78 losses at 57.8% plus 20.45 units. An ROI plus 11.05%, an average line minus 110. I'm not sure. I track my season to season numbers. I wonder if I can get past this. This I'm going to hold up and compare all seasons to. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. I swept the division week. I swept the conference week. Cincinnati, KC under 47. I got a bad line and cashed it easily. We middled by betting the over 41.5 and 42.5 live. San Francisco, Philadelphia under 46. We bet that 3 times when Birdie went down. And we bet the Bengals twice. We went 8 for 8 on live bets on our conference finals weekend. I feel the confidence carrying over. How I can tell that the confidence is carrying over is that I don't want to bet a single prop. I want to keep everything so clean. And there's so many props that excite me. And I have a plan and I haven't bet it yet. I want to talk it out with all of you. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Sammy Culmer says Chiefs Kingdom. Haven't bet it yet, but need to know more about Hurts' injury. New Quirker says I've been waiting all day for Tuesday night. There is Spenny Penny Bomb. Spenny Penny Bomb saying that I had a great season. What a season that Spenny has had here on the show. Only 7 shows he had with us. 26 and 18 plus 9.81 units. He was spectacular on our live shows. Spenny, you, my friend, have had a great season. Slatsy says, somebody get me an accurate injury report. Nasty Nate says, Patriots trifecta. And there is Big Ragu. Talk about a capper who's running nice right now. He has now cashed in 8 straight shows in the black here with us and 11 of 12. I mean, I gush. I get so... I blush. Gush isn't the right word, but I get anytime I'm around Ragu's quality, I just am taken aback by it. Sky Dragon says the Niners love was cute. The KC love will be adorable. I'm gonna edit myself from what I feel about that, but I wish I wanted all game or all season for us, the Niners, to go into Philadelphia, and I never got the opportunity to see it. I wish I had have, but. Your Eagles are in the Super Bowl, and they deserve it. They're the class of the NFC, and I'm very excited. There is Birdie in the house. There is Turnsey in the house. Good-looking honky here joining us. Peter North here, adult film star, retired, says, I believe the Chiefs edge out the Eagles. Look at this. Peter North joining us. Okay, this is the final setup I have of the year. And I look forward to doing it. Our first guest will be Bobano. We have 9 cappers on today's show. Bobano, Peter Loshak, the Big Ragu, Billy Brisbane, Birdie, Gun Richie, Spenny Penny Bombs, Sharpie, and C-Mac will be closing it up. And I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. 6:30 p.m. Eastern. On Sunday, we'll have a live bet stream right here on Pub Sports Radio where they will be battling for the Vince Lombardi trophy. Right behind me, right there. The Vince Lombardi trophy. Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, 14-3 in the regular season, 2-0 in the playoffs, meeting here at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Let's start with the line history. Now, the look-ahead lines for Super Bowl 57 were the Chiefs 1-point neutral site favorites over the Eagles. That was not what we saw from the openers. Some books open this up with the Eagles minus 2.5. Pinnacle opened this up with the Eagles minus 2. And right now, the Eagles are minus 1 at minus 110. The Eagles opened up on the money line at Pinnacle at minus 133. As of 5 days ago, they got down to minus 112. They have been sitting at minus 119 for the last little while. Totals-wise, we've seen a lot of movement here. This opened up at 49.5. It got all the way up to 51. It is now sitting at 50.5. Let's go over to the cash flow here. 259,753 tickets have been counted, and it's pretty simple. 60% of the tickets and 60% of the cash on the spread are on the Philadelphia Eagles. 49% of the tickets and 61% of the cash on the money line are on the Philadelphia Eagles. And 55% of the tickets, 62% of the cash are on the over. The Chiefs come in off a 23-20 victory at home over the Bengals. Despite the high ankle sprain, Patrick Mahomes went 29 of 43 for 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, caught 6 passes for 116 yards and 1 touchdown. Kelsey caught 7 passes for 78 yards and a touchdown. Their running game was completely shut down by the Bengals. The Chiefs finished with 20 carries for 42 yards. I think that the Eagles are more than capable of shutting down Pacheco and the Chiefs' run game. Again, that doesn't necessarily equate to a victory, but I expect the Eagles' defense to shut down the Chiefs' running game. Pacheco was held to 26 yards on 10 carries. He did catch 5 passes for 59 yards. That came as a bit of a surprise, as Pacheco had only caught 5 passes total in his previous 5 games. The Chiefs were 7 of 14 on third down, and they made the crucial plays to get a chance to compete for Super Bowl 57 and play in their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years. The Chiefs are special on third down. We know that. The Chiefs have a third down conversion rate on 3rd and 10 or more of 43% this season. That's unbelievable. That's more than double the league average. That's unbelievable. Defensively, they got 5 sacks and 12 quarterback hits. I believe they are simply not going to be able to do that against the best offensive line in the league in the Eagles. The Chiefs are going to have to stop the Eagles. Can they do that? I think that's the biggest question in this game for me. Burrow was sacked 3 times in the first quarter, and the Bengals offense did not gain a single yard. I do not see that happening here. We know that the Chiefs offense is excellent. Number 1 in DVOA this year. Philly was 3rd. The Eagles have a much better defense than the Chiefs, except if you look at the Chiefs from week 16 on. From week 16 on, the Chiefs have a number 7 defensive DVOA, and they close the gap on this excellent Eagles defense. The Chiefs defense, though, has a lot of holes. They allow successful plays on 56% of their rush attempts in the 4th quarter. That's the worst in the NFL. They allow 27 touchdown receptions in the red zone. That's the most in the NFL. The Eagles can take advantage of that, and I expect them to do just that. This Chiefs defense struggles in the 4th quarter, struggle in the red zone, and they allow 4.5 yards per carry and the 5th most rushing yards to quarterbacks in the regular season. That is the Eagles' bread and butter. The Chiefs are dealing with injuries to their receivers, Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman, and they have injuries to Willie Gay and L'Jarius Sneed. I know a lot of people are talking about Jalen Hurts and what's going on with his shoulder, but we'll start here. Hardman was placed on injured reserve. Everybody else seems to be fine. Sneed cleared concussion protocols. Willie Gay has a shoulder injury. He has listed as questionable. He's been a limited participant in practice, but that guy's one tough hombre. Juju Smith-Schuster returned to practice with his knee injury. Kadarius Toney's listed as probable, says he will definitely play. The Eagles come in off a very comfortable 31-7 victory at home over the 49ers. The 49ers lose Brock Purdy to a torn ligament in his elbow, and the Eagles slowly suffocated them. I believe it is a mistake to judge the Eagles' offense from that game. There was no need whatsoever to take any risks against a team that couldn't hurt them. Hurts was 15 of 25 for 121 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He also ran 11 times for 39 yards. We know that the Chiefs give up a ton of yardage to the quarterback. If you are looking at props, you have to question, what is Jalen Hurts' shoulder injury, and will he be comfortable running? He's 16-1 as a starter this year. The Eagles ran 44 times for 148 yards. Kenneth Gainwell led all rushers with 14 carries for 48 yards. Miles Sanders ran 11 times for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. Devonta Smith led all receivers in the game with 36 yards receiving. Unbelievable that Billy Brisbane was able to cash that prop. Devonta to lead all receivers in receiving yards, and he got it at 36. The Eagles have scored 4.8 points per red zone drive this year. That's second best in the league. The Chiefs have allowed 4.6. That's third worst. The Eagles have scored 40 touchdowns in the red zone this season. The Chiefs, that's third in the NFL. The Chiefs allowed 37. That's tied for third. There's a belief, and I had it once myself, that if this game was close, the Chiefs have a genuine advantage with Mahomes at quarterback. I don't know anymore. The Eagles have a third down conversion rate of 48.4% in the fourth quarter. That's phenomenal. That's second best in the NFL. The Chiefs defense have allowed a third down conversion rate of 46.3% in the fourth quarter. That's fourth worst. Against the Niners, the Eagles got 3 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. They held the Niners to 164 yards. I know those numbers don't really count when you're talking about a team that didn't have a quarterback, but this is an Eagles defense that had 70 sacks. Now, the Chiefs had 55. The Chiefs have 7 players with at least 3.5 sacks, but the Eagles have the best offensive line in the league. Philly allowed the least passing yards per game, the second fewest yards per game, and we're top 10 in scoring defense. They sacked opposing quarterbacks on 11% of pass attempts. We've seen what Darius Slay and James Bradbury are capable of doing. Now you can say the Eagles had one of the easiest schedules in the NFL and had playoff games against Daniel Jones and the 49er team that was down to no quarterback. Those are valid statements. I want to bet the Philadelphia Eagles. I plan to bet them, take them on the money line, and get paid. I would like to hear from everybody in the chat. How are you getting paid? What are your best spots? What are your best bets? Newkirk Kelsey, anytime touchdown at -110. Harold Williams is on Eagles -1.5 and the Eagles money line. We want to know what you guys are doing to get paid in full. Sky Dragon says Kansas City's elite pass rush can be negated by Philadelphia's offensive line. Philly's run game, the best in Kansas City's been all year. Kansas City secondary inexperienced and can be beat. Philly will move the ball. Look, I love what McDuffie was doing, 21st overall pick. I think that knowing now that L'Jarius Sneed is healthy, I do think that the Chiefs secondary got better and better and better as the season goes on, but I think there's a lot of truth in what you're saying. Sky Dragon says Hurts is fine. He refused to take hits in the 2 games versus the Giants. He was lowering the shoulder against San Francisco. He had 2 extra weeks. He is fine. It is time for 9 different cappers who we have tracked all season long to give us their best bets. I thought about, do I want the first half under? It's a bet I make in a lot of these championship games, whether it being a Super Bowl or a Grey Cup. Or do I just want to keep it so clean, bet the Eagles on the money line, and have a K ready to go for live betting after going 8-8 in the conference finals? I'm leaning towards that. I'm leaning towards everybody keeping it clean. First off, thank you guys so much for joining us here for our NFL Pub Hub Super Bowl edition. Your first guest has been spectacular all season long. He had a lead here, as we track everybody, of double-digit units all season long. Right now, his lead over the Big Ragu is down to 1.13 units, but he's been spectacular. 96 wins, 71 losses, plus 18.7 units. What a season he has had. And in this spectacular season, he's done 16 shows. What consistency at high volume. Please welcome your current leader in our NFL Pub Hub from Canada's Black and Yellow, Mr. Ian Cameron. Ian, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. This is it. This is the end of the NFL season. Super Bowl is here. Let's try to make it count.
Let's try and make it count. The floor is yours. What are your official picks here in our final NFL Pub Hub of the year? You have a 1.13 unit lead on the Big Ragu, last year's champion. And win or lose, You've been spectacular this year and deserve to be presented a trophy at Pubapalooza in San Antonio just 2 months from now. Take it away, Bobano. They don't need to hear anything more from me tonight. They want to hear from you guys. The floor is yours.
Yeah, this Super Bowl has me, at least from there are a bunch of props that I like, and I will get to them in a few minutes. It's gonna be more of a prop based segment here for yours truly, but because the side does have me perplexed a little bit. There are concerns about how easy Philly had it coming into this game. There are concerns about Hurts a little bit. I don't like, maybe it's part of it was because they had a huge lead against San Francisco, but thought passing the football was not his best day, in terms of accuracy, in terms of putting the football right where you wanted him to. I mean, even the great first touchdown drive that the Eagles had, that was a spectacular catch by Devontae Smith on a ball that I think that was a little bit overthrown. So there are some concerns there. I keep coming back to the same thing. I do lean Philadelphia here early in the week, that I just think it's a better roster around the quarterback. I like their O-line. I like their defensive line. I like their secondary. I like the linebacking core. I think for Kansas City, there's a few more holes in their roster. But at the end of the day, you've got Patrick Mahomes on your team, who's just spectacular, who wills his team to victory, who makes incredible plays out of nothing, something that that the Philadelphia Eagles did not see at all when they played San Francisco or the Giants, this kind of playmaking ability from the quarterback spot. So I think it's going to be a hell of a football game. And another thing that's bothering me, too, from wanting to back Philly is Kansas City's injury report, which we were all thinking doom and gloom when the AFC Championship game ended. Mahomes with his ankle, 3 receivers banged up, the best cornerback on the team, L'Jarius Sneed, all in doubt for this game. Well, they're all going to be on the field, it looks like. This injury report's cleared up remarkably well for the Kansas City Chiefs going into this game. But when I look at this matchup here, Kansas City with the quarterback alone is good enough to win this football game. So I'm parking myself in terms of the side in this game. I lean Philly early in the week. As far as the total goes, the way I see it, I think the push to the over is warranted in this football game. I will make that play official for the show, the first official play, the total here, the full game over, because Philadelphia obviously was in a protect the lead mode, run the football mode, get the game over with mode against San Francisco. I think you're going to see a competitive game. You're going to have to see two teams that end up, having to be aggressive throughout the course of the football game. And I think when you look at it as well from the Philadelphia perspective, we know this is a big play offense, and Kansas City can be susceptible to giving those up. Philadelphia's defense, on the other hand, when you look at Kansas City's offense going into this game, you like what they were able to do running the football with Pacheco. I think it's going to be a little more difficult against Philly, but they were able to stay balanced. That, to me, is definitely going to help them going into this game. So I think when it's all said and done, because of the fact you had Kansas City, obviously show a little bit of a defensive resistance against Cincinnati, you're keeping this total maybe a little lower than it could have been. Philadelphia off the game against the Giants, the game against the Niners, which were blowout games, one-sided. You put those factors together, and I think now we can expect, after a couple weeks of unders, the worm to turn a little bit. So I like over 50.5. Looks like that's the best number right now, -110 at PointsBet. We will lock that in for the total. Let's get to props because we got a lot of guests, and I want to keep the show rolling. So I'm going to go right into props. I'm going to go with my first prop, and it's the layup prop. It's a prop I think it's going to happen. He's not going to be someone that's ever going to be anything but number one in terms of targets for Patrick Mahomes. And we're going to go with it's just an easy one for me to bet this one, especially at this price. It's Travis Kelce touchdown -110. I like it. He's going to find a way to get into the end zone. That's just what he does. He's a big game tight end. That's just what he does. And if you look at it too, I think that no matter what the defense tries to do, to alleviate the impact of Travis Kelce on the football game, it's never successful. It really isn't. I mean, he finds a way to get open. He finds a way to make plays. He finds a way to get into the end zone. And so you're asking a guy that's just almost automatic to get into the end zone, -110 to score a touchdown. That's exactly what I'm going to go with here in this game. And also in terms of the prop market, I'm not going to make the Kelce receptions and receiving yards official, but I did bet both. And, where the receptions, I think, are up to 7.5 now at most books. If it was 6.5 with lower juice, I would have made it official. But I do want to point out I did bet those. We won't make those official, though. Just the touchdown prop, minus 110 here on Travis Kelce in this game. I'm on Dallas Goedert, tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, over receptions and over receiving yards. The tight end position is the one little area of weakness Kansas City has had. If you look at their positional defensive numbers, defending number 1 receivers, a little bit better. Number 2 receivers, a little bit better. Stopping the run, better. Tight ends, though, they're a bottom half of the NFL ranking in terms of defending the tight end position, the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think when you look at this matchup here for him in this game, and make no mistake about it, Dallas Goedert has gained tremendous chemistry, targeted often by Jalen Hurts this year. So Dallas Goedert, over 4.5 receptions, minus 125 at Pinnacle. We'll go with that, as well as over 48.5 receiving yards, minus 110 at Bet365. We'll lock those two in. Here is a unique prop that I've decided to roll with here in this football game. The team to call the first timeout of the football game. I'm going with Kansas City. There is a huge, huge discrepancy between these two teams in terms of the percentage of time they called the first timeout in the football game. Philly rarely did. Okay, I think Philly is something like 35 to 40% this year of their games where they've called the first timeout. Kansas City is at the other end of the spectrum. Andy Reid treats his timeouts like a parent treating candy to their kids, just gives it away. Here you go. Here's a lollipop. Here's this. Here's that. That's what Andy Reid does with his timeouts. He uses them a lot. If they're unsure about a play call, they won't hesitate, burn a timeout, get everybody on the same page. The percentages are just way too strong to ignore it. And this was something that I thought was very appealing to me. And you can bet that right now, currently minus a 125 DraftKings for that first timeout prop. So first timeout Kansas City, minus 125 in this game. There's a couple more, and then we'll stop there. I'm trying to isolate this here, final week of the season, to what I think are some of my strongest looks, at least as far as the props go. I'm going to definitely throw this one on the card for sure. This stands out like a sore thumb to me. Jerick McKinnon over receiving yards for the Kansas City Chiefs. Back to catch the football out of the running back spot. It's a situation where this is a fierce pass rush for the Eagles. No joke. They can get after the quarterback. Now, we know the ankle has been an injury that's been going for a few weeks for Mahomes. I think he'll be able to be maybe a little bit more mobile. But that still, I don't think, means all of a sudden he's going to be able to hold the football there for 3, 4, 5 seconds and 7-step drops and wait for routes to develop. He won't be able to do that all the time. There's going to be situations where, he is going to have to dump the ball off to a running back. And I think for me in that game, that's McKinnon. Pacheco's been more of the carries running back, the guy that gets the rock, that runs the football. But I think in this game, Jerick McKinnon will be used in the passing game and probably in red zone situations as well. That wouldn't shock me. That's something the Chiefs have gone to a lot. We're not asking a lot. It's 20.5 with his receiving yards prop, minus 110 at Bet365. So we're going to rock with that as well. Jerick McKinnon over 20.5 receiving yards at Bet365 at minus 110. And you know what? I'm going to pump the brakes there. I've got a bunch more props. I like Hurts rushing yards, but again, this is just a game that can go all over the place. I was on Gainwell, and I almost used Gainwell on this show as an official play, but the more I'm looking at it, I think they're going to be using a ton of different options to run the football. I think Hurts is going to run it more than he did against San Francisco. I could see Miles Sanders being a bigger part of the run game here. I wouldn't even rule out Boston Scott being more heavily involved here for the Philadelphia Eagles. So betting the rushing props, in particular with the Philadelphia Eagles, I think is a tricky proposition right now because you're just not sure who's going to get the lion's share of the targets, the lion's share of the attempts. So that's why I'm pumping the brakes on Gainwell. And it's kind of like, he had the big game against the Giants, You were concerned, Jimmy. I came back with him against the Niners. It didn't matter. This is the game where I'm concerned about coming back to the well with Kenneth Gainwell, because I just think there's other options. And after he had a great game against San Francisco, I could see Sirianni and the offensive coaching staff saying, hold on now, let's throw a curveball. Let's go in another direction here, running the football against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I definitely think that's a situation where I like Gainwell again this week, but I've got enough reservations where I'm going to just pump the brakes a little bit and keep it off the official card. So we'll stop there, Jimmy. We got a lot more props that I've bet already, but I find I've left the best of the best here on the card for this Super Bowl Pub Hub show. So there you have it.
Well, you've been spectacular all year long. You're on the over 50.5 at -110. Travis Kelce anytime touchdown at -110. Dallas Goedert over 4.5 receptions at -125. Dallas Goedert over, was it 48.5 receiving yards?
That's right.
At -110. First time out Chiefs at -125, and McKinnon over 20.5 receiving yards at -110. A 6-spot, a half dozen looks for Bobano. 1 week away for winning the title for the best capper in NFL Pub Hub this year. And you have last year's champion in your rear view mirror. You've been so good this year. I just thankful. Excellent work. Go get that cash. And I can't wait to do this forever. I just want to do this forever with you. Excellent work, Bobano. Follow Bobano on Twitter at Bobano. He's got a half dozen looks here for us for the Super Bowl to munch on. Any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Just a phenomenal season personally for me, betting wise. Phenomenal season being a part of this show and seeing so many people do well. So many people do well. And it's not just me. It's not just Big Ragu, who's right behind me now in second. It's Connor Mack. It's Billy Briz. It's Sharpie's done great success with props. Go on down the list. We've had how about Spenny Penny Bombs when he's been on the show? He's been excellent. It's everybody. I mean, we've all collectively, Jimmy, yourself, incredible season. Everybody's had just a terrific NFL season, and it's great to see it because we all feel like as a group, Peter Loshak, who's waiting in the wings, Birdie's first season contributing to this show on the air. It's everybody. It's great to see the collective success as a group, as a Pub Sports Radio family, and we can only hope to bottle this thing up and bring the same success and the same fun that we have had doing this Pub Hub show all season. Bring it with us next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and hopefully a whole lot more years beyond that.
Beautifully put, Bobano. What a season he has had. Will he take it to the rack and hold on to a belt that our Big Ragu has held on to all year? Let's bring on your next guest, coming to us from Brooklyn. Now, he was only with us for 7 different shows this year, but he won our Cappers contest at Pub Sports Radio, picked up a little under $3,000, and we're going to have a bigger, badder one coming up next year. But our first champion in NFL Cappers contest, and his record would have been just out of the top 50 in the circa millions. He was spectacular. With us on the show, he is 12-11 plus 0.12 units. He's coming off a 3-1 conference week, up plus 1.89 units. And he's here to rock with us right now. A man I've looked up to since I've started, and a man we all emulate. He taught us about transparency and accountability and honesty, 3 things that are missing in this industry. Please welcome from Brooklyn, Mr. Peter Loshak.
How's it going, Jimmy? The first-time viewers might have been like, that guy with that intro looks like that. No, dude, first, for real, shout out to Ian Cameron. That dude is smart as hell, man. I caught that the tail end of his segment. That dude is freaking smart as hell. I thought I was up more in these shows with my official plays. I'm only about even.
Well, week 1 you swept the board, and then weeks 3 and 5 the opposite.
Yeah.
So then you were behind the 8 ball a little bit. Then week 14, we had to bring you back because you were winning the Cappers contest. You went 4-0 and swept the board again. And then you're a feast or famine capper in this in this show.
I don't suppose I can just add all of whatever Ian just gave you, add that on to my record, because technically that does count as a pick. I mean, what's my process? Copying whatever Ian does. That counts. I'm not going to do that. Shout out to Ian Cameron and friggin' everyone, man. All these friggin' guys. Connor Mack, Billy Briz, Big Ragu, everyone. Really impressive bunch of guys. For real.
Definitely. But we come from we're cut from your cloth, Peter. Yeah. How are you getting paid here? Super Bowl 57.
Well, I'm focusing on college basketball right now, so I have not looked into all these props and everything like everyone else has. I will say this. I made one bet at the beginning of the playoffs for a futures bet, and that was on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I got plus 550. So that's my only bet that I have hanging right now. My cap of the game, I think I like the Chiefs, although the more I look into it, it makes me more and more nervous. Obviously, the health of those receivers is paramount, and the other guys too, the guys on defense as well. They got to have Tony or Juju. I mean, I'm assuming that they're going to be 100%, but that might not be a smart assumption to make. They need to be 100%. And I think Philly's scary, right? The offensive line is vicious, right? Now, if I were the coach of Philly, I would have them run a lot. I don't necessarily – we know how Jalen Hurts deals with pressure, not so great. A lot of people are talking about Hurts' shoulder. I'm not worried about Hurts' shoulder. I'm worried about just Hurts in general. Not that I'm worried about him, but, he's obviously an awesome quarterback, but he's not Mahomes. You know what I mean? And so I am worried about Hurts, not because of the injury. The injury means nothing. I'm just worried about his ability to, in the prime time, under pressure, to throw long. Those are all things, when he was with Alabama, he didn't do great in the title game. His numbers aren't that great under pressure. His numbers throwing long aren't that great. On the other hand, Philly has a legit awesome offensive line, which is maybe even underrated. They're awesome and maybe even a little bit more awesome than people give them credit for. Hurts is an awesome runner. They got 3 good running backs. So if I were the Eagles, I would run a lot. I would run probably a lot more. So as far as props are concerned, I'm thinking that I don't know if they're going to do that. I think that's what they should do. I would be looking at maybe Eagles rushing props over and Eagles passing props under. And I definitely think the one prop I do think might be a great bet is just sacks under, full game sacks under, which is 5.5, right, at minus 140. I think the Eagles are going to run more than we expect them to, and I think Mahomes is going to be fine in terms of his mobility. There might be a sack or two here and there, but the Eagles have a vicious offensive line. Mahomes is not going to get sacked much, I don't think, and I'm seeing it at Bet Online. The sack prop is 5.5 on the game. Is that correct?
It is, and it went under 5.5 easily. There was only 4 sacks in the conference finals between the Eagles and the Niners.
Right.
And to add to your Hurts under pressure, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. 20th in passer rating, 65.2, 28th in completion rate, 43.9% when pressured.
So those just aren't great numbers. So I'm definitely, with the Eagles, I'm gonna hedge out at least half of the futures bet that I made with the Chiefs, and I might take a position on the Chiefs as well. I just like the Chiefs. It makes me nervous that you're liking the Eagles, and yes, the main concerns for me are just the Eagles have such a vicious offensive line, dominant offensive line. Sirianni is just a coach who is a winner, right? And so I'm assuming that whatever they should do is going to be close to what they will do, in my opinion. And I'm not an NFL coach. My opinion, they should be running a lot more in this game than people might be expecting. So I don't want to bet against Sirianni. Don't want to bet against that offensive line. And then, of course, on the other side, yes, the injury concerns for Casey are a factor. But I just like Mahomes, and it's not even a knock on Hurts necessarily. It's just Mahomes is awesome. And I think Hurts is a liability, and hopefully Philly will have the Chiefs will have enough weapons on offense to get it done. So I'm liking the Chiefs, but I will admit that I'm liking it less and less the more that I'm looking into it. Still liking it though, and again, haven't bet any props yet, but definitely liking the under on the sack props, and probably going to be taking some Philly rushing over props. And I also would agree with what Ian Cameron said about Kelsey. It's just I don't know how they're going to be able to prepare for him in a way that will shut him down. I mentioned that in the championship game. I didn't make it official, but Kelsey receiving yards over and receptions over. In the preview, I mentioned that I was liking those, and it was no-brainer play cash there. Definitely not a lock, a guaranteed to win, but yeah, Kelsey is likely to have a big day here, and yeah,
and cashed by the slimmest of margins.
Yeah,
7 receptions, and that over 6.5 was juiced heavily at -150.
Sure. But yeah, I think the Kelsey is hugely dangerous here. Then again, I mean, who knows if Casey's wide receivers really are banged up and Sirianni is specifically anticipating that and has a specific sort of monkey wrench game plan to shut Kelsey down, that'll be a problem for betting the Kelsey props. But from as it looks right now, Kelsey props look great.
So what are you making here for us to discuss on our live stream and discuss for the rest of the week?
You can make that under 5.5 sacks in the game an official play. You can use the bet online number -140. Probably something better exists somewhere else. Almost certainly something better exists somewhere else. But I'll take -140 under 5.5 sacks.
Under 5.5 sacks and -140. Are you going to give us anything else? And it's fine if it's just the under 5.5 sacks at this point.
It's just, yeah, I haven't. There's nothing that I've bet yet. Again, I'm looking probably at Philly rushing props over, attempts and or yards, and probably Philly passing props under attempts and or yards. That was my loser last 2 weeks ago, right? It was Jalen Hurts passing yards over. Thought he was going to have a big day. He didn't need to though, so maybe if he needed to, he would have. But yeah,
it was your lone loss.
Yeah.
Your lone loss.
And in retrospect, it was probably a negative EV.
You also gave us Sweat over 2.5 tackles.
Yeah.
That was juiced, but it cashed. And you gave us very confidently the Chiefs first half.
Yes. And actually, I wound up betting that much bigger closer to game time because I was like, that's obviously a great bet. I saw from AIPP here, Jimmy the Bag. So I'm very nervous about plays that I give publicly, but under 5.5 sacks, I think is definitely one that I'm willing to do. And I can tell you I'm leaning Chiefs despite all the issues. And leaning the props the way that I mentioned it. Mostly though, I'm just going to rewatch this video, listen to what Ian Cameron had to say again, listen to what everyone has to say, and tail some of those. That's my main plan for Super Bowl props.
Our next guest has cashed on 8 straight shows here with us, Pete.
No shit.
And in the playoffs with us, he is plus 7.69 units in 3 shows.
Wow. Is it Rufus Peabody? Is that who it is?
No, sadly it's not Rufus. Sadly it's not Rufus. But Pistol Pete, we're going to be able to talk about your under 5.5 sacks at -140 all week. So you're giving us fodder. Also, Philly rushing attempts over and pass attempts under. We're not making those official, but they're definitely leans of.
It's just I have to assume that's got to be the game plan that they'll employ, that Sirianni will employ.
I get it. I completely get it. And we talked already about the Chiefs being susceptible to quarterback rush yards and rush yards, but also the Eagles as well. And you look at the games where, I mean, you should only count the one game really where Hurts was at quarterback, but the 3 games the Eagles lost, they got gashed on the ground. So that's where both defenses are vulnerable. Pistol Pete Loshak under 5.5 sacks. And thank you for your time. I know you're moving right now. Things are stressful. Thank you for hanging out with us, my friend.
Oh, my pleasure, Jimmy the Bag. Shout out to everyone, all the guests, everyone. Shout out to Slaughter. Shout out to everyone at Pub Sports Radio. And, of course, most importantly, shout out to the comment section. Awesome comment section every freaking day.
We love you, Pete. Follow him on Twitter at P Loshak. I can't help but brag about your next guest just because of his consistency, how he does it in every sport, how he does it with such class. So I'm just always going to, look, I call it how it is, man. And he's also going to be in San Antonio with us. So those of you who have never run with a legend who's G'd up from the feet up, and blued up from the shoe up, and everything that we are aspiring to be, you can come down to San Antonio and see it in person. You can also see him cash in 11 of 12 shows, in 8 straight shows, 57 and 41 plus 17.57 units. Our champion last year, and now a 1.13 units out of being our champion this year. Numbers don't lie. Please welcome your next guest from Ocala, Florida, the Big Ragu in the house.
That's what happens, my man. When you run in good company, it kind of bleeds over. And yes, this is the Eagles, but not the Eagles that are playing on Sunday. It's the Hotel California Eagles, just in case you're wondering. But good to be with you guys. What a wonderful show. This is better. I watched the Grammys Sunday night, and this is better than the Grammys because the company I'm keeping, we got all-stars all over the place, and guess what? We're getting fucking paid.
We are, and my goodness, have you put on a display? 7.69 units in the black over the wild card divisional conference, and again, 8 straight winning shows here for Ragu. Ragu, they don't want to hear me talk anymore. Floor is yours. Super Bowl 57. How are you? I know you're going to be in Vegas. Looks like, right?
I'm going to be in Vegas. Yeah. Hopefully we'll meet some of the gang out there. But how are we going to get paid, Jimmy? That's always, the Super Bowl is one of these games where a good friend of mine used to call it, it's a game for amateurs betting wise, because, when they first started the big prop markets, that's where it all started in the Super Bowl. But over the years, you just kind of get wise to certain things and you learn to step back. Some of my biggest cashers, single day cashers, have been the Super Bowl. So hopefully I continue that. I've been successful betting Super Bowls. The last few, I won last year, and I won the year that the Tampa Bay beat them. I think I lost 2 Super Bowls back. But anyways, pretty successful in the Super Bowls. But the key is how to get paid in these games and not to get sucked in with all the props, which there are a ton of props that I like too. Don't get me wrong. I've been more in the prop market this year than any year, just because I found some things that have been interesting and some things that, just not interesting. But what I like to do in the Super Bowl, one of my strategies is I like the ladder bet because these games go one or two ways. They're either complete blowouts or they're nail biters to the end. So, you usually don't get a tweener type of game. So the way these teams are built right now, the way Philadelphia is in the trenches, defense, offense, offensive line, like you spoke about it, is tremendous. Their defense is fantastic. KC, their defense was pretty good during the playoffs. But I think the offensive line, and to me, this whole game boils down to this. It's going to be Philadelphia's defense, front seven, versus that Kansas City O-line. And if they just bring a little bit of extra pressure to Mahomes, I think he's fine. He's going to be okay, but he's not going to be 100%. An 80% Mahomes is better than 80% of the quarterbacks in the league. Give it out of the take. But he's going to have to be on his A game to beat this Philly squad for sure. So I just think that's going to present some issues for the timing of their plays. Now, Kansas City's defense is going to be up to the task, but when they get in the red zone, they could be very vulnerable, like you had said before. So I think this is going to come down to, red zone opportunities and then, the time that Mahomes has in the pocket. I think he's becoming more of a traditional type quarterback. He sees the game like nobody else can see it. He slows the game down. He's able to pick things apart. And that's, the experience is there for him. Reed's a championship Hall of Fame coach. Mahomes is going to be a Hall of Famer. So now you got the young squad. It hurts. He's probably the offensive player of the year in my book. He's turned the page. He's come back from, being a mediocre quarterback to stepping his game up in a big way. And, he's had a lot of help, and you got to give Sirianni a lot of credit to that too. So if they win this game, he'll be the coach of the year too. So I'm not going to have any plays on any MVP type stuff, but I think the way this game is going to go early on, we'll probably see a filling out play like we always do. We talk about the unders the first half. I lean that way, but I couldn't do it. So I was trying to bet this game clean like you. So the latter play for me is going to be on the Eagles here. And I like the Eagles to come away with the win. So my bets are going to roll like this. Let me pull them up here. I got them on a ticket. So
let me mention something while you pull it up on the ticket quickly, is because honestly, I don't see an outcome where I don't see a situation where the Chiefs destroy the Eagles.
No.
If one team beats another team by double digits, it's the Eagles beating up the Chiefs. It's Mahomes ankle sprain or something happening to Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's I just don't see the opposite. So I'm fascinated with this plan of yours, and take it away. I'm writing.
Okay, so I'm going to start out with the straight play on the Eagles, that's the easy thing to figure out there. So I'm gonna throw a unit at the 1.5. What the line is, the current line. Then I'm also gonna take. Get ready. Get your pencil ready. I'm gonna take the Eagles minus 4.5 at +1. These are all DraftKings numbers. Current 147 plus. I'm gonna take the Eagles minus 10 at +327. And I got to take a step back. I take Eagles minus 6.5 at +189, and minus 10 at +327. So you got 4.5, 6.5, and 10. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That is
okay.
That's what. Yeah.
Then I'm going to also take the Eagles over 26.5 points for the game at -105. Now I do want to bet the halves. So I was looking at some props there, and how I'm going to play those. I'm all going to play them to the Eagles to win the game outright, full game. But I have a tie in the first half with the Eagles to win the game at +1900.
Oh wow!
Then I have, just in case the Eagles don't win the first half, I got the Eagles. I got the Chiefs first half, Eagles full game +750.
Oh wow! What a fascinating way of handling it.
Yeah.
Just win full game at +750.
And if you really want to beat them, now I got to check into the rules on this one. They got a bet here. It says Philadelphia Eagles to win both halves. So I don't know. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, first half full game.
Yeah, they got it +350. So in reality, if the Eagles win the game, you still make money on all those bets because you're still going to come out at the worst case scenario +350. You come up by half a unit.
So are you also adding Eagles first
yeah,
half?
let me do that now that I think about it.
Okay, first half full game, and what was that number at?
Eagles to win both halves. It says +350.
Yeah. Wow.
Now I know Ian kind of stepped off of Gainwell. I was following Ian on his action coming up, and I was kind of paying a little bit of attention. But last week put in overdrive for me, or the week before with Gainwell and action, which I don't think I gave any picks on the show for that. But I like him to come back this week. So I like Gainwell to score, and anytime touchdown, the Eagles will win at +650.
Gainwell, TD, and win at +650.
Yeah.
You
that's gonna do it, fellas, because I think the Eagles are gonna hold it down. I think the Chiefs are gonna get some opportunities. I don't think they blow them out, but if you go back and look at the Tampa Bay and Kansas City game, and I know it's different teams, we have the same coordinators, we have a lot of same players there, minus Hill, whatnot, a few new players in the backfield, but I think the defense and the offensive minds are still there. So there is a little path there for for Philadelphia to look at. And I know they beat Philadelphia one time before at Philly. I think it was a high scoring game here. So if you like Kansas City, you got to like the over. I think if you like Philadelphia, keep it under. I
agree, and I have a ton of interest in the under. I just want to hear everybody. I want to listen, and then I want to. I still have yet to bet even the money line. There's been very little movement at this point, except for the total rising.
Yeah,
Ragu, what a fascinating way you're playing the Super Bowl. This is why this show is so special, to hear all these different cappers and how they're doing it, and then also to track them all season long. So it's not just in the air. That it's serious and. And so I love this. So let's review Big Ragu's action here. Eagles -1 at -110. Eagles -4.5 at +147. Eagles -6.5 at +189. Eagles -10 at +327. Eagles team total over 26.5 at -105. Eagles or first half tie, full game win for the Eagles +1900. Chiefs first half, Eagles full game +750. Eagles first half and full game +350, and Gainwell touchdown with an Eagles win at +650. You have created an extremely exciting Super Bowl for yourself without playing player props, keeping it very clean to the side. You expect to come out victorious, and I am learning and listening.
Hey,
so
I tried it twice this year, and it all came down to that last game with the Bucs one time, and then what was it? The Bengals last week on the divisionals when we had the Bengals. But the third time's a charm. Let's get the Eagles home. Let's cash some big tickets.
Oh, Big Ragu. God, I love you, man. Follow him at Big Ragu 62. And if you want to run with a legend, come down to San Antonio and hang out with him in person. DX Filer says betting the national anthem and coin flips is shit. I was listening to a radio show here in Toronto, and they were like, "Oh, it's the DraftKings, like part of their show." This is what we're betting: tails at plus 100. And are you kidding me? That's how you start out your gambling breakdown, by betting tails at plus 100. I was so astonished that this is the type of gambling content that we're getting right now, even when it's legalized. What absolute! I immediately turned off the radio. That's what you're going to give us? That's your first play? Is a fucking tails at plus 100? My good God. All right, let's move on. The Big Ragu on an 8-show winning streak, 11 of his last 12, and now sitting 1.13 units behind Bobano for the championship, of which Big Ragu won last year. Your next guest has had the best single week of anybody on this entire season. On wild card week, he went 10-2 plus 9.75 units. He's been throwing a big quantity of action. In the regular season, he only had 1 week where he made 5 bets. A lot of weeks with 3 bets, some with 4, but he never pushed it. Then wild card, he had 12. Divisional round, he had 11. Conference finals, he went 16. He's firing shots, and I love working with him. Please welcome from South Jersey, Billy Brisbane, to the show. Brizzy, what up, my man? How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Can you see me?
Yeah, your money.
All right. Sounds good. Another Tuesday night in the association, getting ready for some Lakers Thunder basketball, but we got to make some time for some NFL. It's the best time of the year. You get in early on the props, and I couldn't give you everything that I like because everything isn't out yet, but we get a good sample here. But I will say my largest bet of the weekend will be placed on the Gatorade color.
Well, the floor is yours, Brizzy, and you've earned the right to have it. So take it away. Billy Brisbane getting Bills Super Bowl action.
Yeah, we'll start off with the square plays right off the bat. Usually don't ever really play teasers, but Super Bowl time is usually the best time to play teasers. I like the 7-point teaser this weekend. I like the Eagles plus 7.5 and the over 43.5, minus 151 at FanDuel Sportsbook.
Minus 151. Brizzy getting started with the Eagles plus 7.5 and the over 43.5 at minus 151. Keep rolling.
Yep. Player prop wise, I like Quez Watkins under 1.5 receptions, minus 120. We're going back to the well here. He's gone under 1.5 receptions in 9 out of his last 14 games. With Goddard active, last 2 weeks has been his lowest route participation rates of the whole entire season. So I would bet this line up to minus 180. I think it's going to close around minus 175. So
you bet this in the conference final, under 1.5 receptions at minus 138, finished with 0 receptions. What is the juice here?
Minus 120.
Wow. So it's gone down a little bit. Interesting. Wow. I would have thought that would have continued to go up. Interesting. Quez Watkins under 1.5 receptions at minus 120. Keep rolling.
I like the Philadelphia Eagles team total over 13 first half. Shouts to my guy, Tom Miggs. The Eagles have gone over the first half team total 15-2 during the regular season and 2-0 during the playoffs. It's been a cash cow all year. So we would need 2 touchdowns or 1 touchdown and 2 field goals. I definitely think they can get there. So I like the Eagles team total over 13 first half.
Eagles team total of first half over 13. What's the juice with that?
Minus 110.
Often in these championship games, we see the first half a little slower, and some of the biggest bets I've made have been on first half unders. I haven't moved on that yet. If you had a free bet right now on the first half at 24, would you want to go over it or under it?
I think I would like to go over, preferably because it's in a dome. So we're getting 2 top 5 offenses in the NFL in a dome game. the Chiefs have problems guarding a running quarterback. So that doesn't really set up the most recipe of success. I think, this is going to be a shootout. This is a showcase, first Super Bowl with 2 black quarterbacks. So I definitely think they're going to want some history to be made in this game.
Interesting. I still need to. That's, and I'm going to ask a few other cappers here on the show. I'm still having trouble with the total, but I tell you what, I still feel like it's under or no bet for me, and I'm pretty comfortable with that.
I think one of these teams could put up the total just by themselves. I think this is going to be one of those games that, like, there's going to be points scored. There's no way, no how, because I feel like a lot of the plays that the Eagles score on are usually like big plays. It's not like the traditional red zone play. We're usually scoring like 20 yards out.
So let me ask you this. I mean, you know your Eagles inside now. How much running do you expect? How many rush attempts do you expect? Because I expect the Eagles to run and run and run and run. Now, do you think I'm off a little bit?
I think it's going to be not completely off. I think it's going to be a low amount of attempts, but successful attempts, if that makes sense. So, like, Miles Sanders is probably going to get around 7 yards per carry. That would be like his average projection for this game. And if that's the case and Jalen Hurts is projecting well and the run game's going, that just means big chunk plays. So I could see like Miles Sanders have like a good day, but maybe not find the back of the end zone, but have big chunk plays.
Okay. All right. So we have Eagles plus 7.5 in the over 43.5 at minus 151. We have Quez Watkins under 1.5 receptions at minus 120. Eagles first half team total over 13 at minus 110. Keep rolling, my man.
Yeah, this is going to be the last player prop on the card. We'll talk about some more anytime touchdown props. I'll probably add more player props throughout the week, but this is the most convicted player prop that I like for this weekend is L'Jarius Sneed over 5.5 tackles and assists, minus 105. Chiefs starting cornerback. He's cleared this in 14 out of 18 games so far this season, and the Eagles have allowed a primary outside corner to hit this in 7 out of their last 8 games, and he leads the NFL in tackles in both the run and pass game among cornerbacks, and he should be heavily involved in coverage with both A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. So that's the prop that I like the most this weekend. Oddly enough, these defensive player props are coming in real low in odds, but the trends and data are there to be taken advantage of. But it's just out of all the Super Bowl props, nobody's going to the defensive player prop section and betting players over unders on tackles and assists. So that's one way I think we're getting value in these playoffs. If you've seen a lot of my betting cards this playoffs have included like a defensive player prop or two, and I usually don't ever really do that during the regular season.
I have noticed that your defensive player props have been nice for you. So I get it. So that at this point, Sneed over 5.5 tackles is the lone official player prop you're dropping?
Yeah, next 3 are going to be all touchdown props.
Okay, well, let's get into it. Next up, anytime touchdowns or first and last?
Anytime.
Anytime touchdowns. All right, take it away, my man.
Yeah, I like Travis Kelce, minus 115, square play, but he scored in the last 5 postseason games, 11 out of the last 14 games, leading the Chiefs with 15 touchdowns this season, and she get plenty of chances to find the back of the end zone. Kelce's 1 touchdown shy of passing Gronk for the second most receiving postseason touchdowns, and Kelce and Mahomes are 2 touchdowns away from passing Brady and Gronk for most postseason touchdowns by a quarterback tight end duo. So I think there's a lot on line for Travis Kelce this Super Bowl.
Kelce, anytime touchdown, minus 115. Who's next?
Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown, plus 100. He scored a rushing touchdown 15 out of the last 17 games this season. Find the end zone 7 out of the last 9 games. The Chiefs allowed the 5th most rushing yards to the quarterback position and the 6th most rushing touchdown to opposing quarterbacks. So good spot here for Jalen Hurts to find the back of the end zone. You know Jalen Hurts always likes to call his own number.
Yeah, Son Dizzle, who's here at the spot right now. He's off to play the Ottawa club here this week, but he's going to be down in San Antonio with us, and he's headlining our comedy show on the Sunday night. He is also he's using Hurts anytime touchdown and the Eagles win, Kelce anytime touchdown and a Chiefs win, and he's sitting back thinking that it's that he's completely in business for a big You like what he's doing there?
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, if they're two separate different tickets, I mean, I definitely think if the Eagles win, Hurts probably scores. Kelsey wins. I mean, if the Chiefs win, Kelsey scores. I think the Chiefs thing is a little bit more predictive that Kelsey and the Chiefs win rather than Hurts and the Eagles win, because the Eagles use a bunch of fucking random motherfuckers in the red zone. That's why I'm not trying to play too many Eagles anytime touchdown props this weekend.
He also wants Kelsey first touchdown and Hurts first touchdown, and I'm legitimately thinking of not sending it in his action.
I would not send that one in. The first touchdown props those are giveaway bets. I'd rather bet the Gatorade color, man. At least you can make a predictive narrative decision, smart decision, and bet 3 different Gatorade props above plus 400 odds. It is the best prop to bet on for the Super Bowl. It is my true addiction, is betting on Gatorade Super Bowl player props. I'm probably going to do way too much research into that this weekend.
Okay, well, don't get me excited about not sending in his action, because it blew up in my face a few weeks ago. Brizzy, Kelsey, anytime touchdown. Hurts, anytime touchdown. What's next?
Dallas Goedert, anytime touchdown, plus 175. You can probably find better odds if you odd shop. All these odds are FanDuel odds. The Chiefs gave up the second most touchdowns to the slot and 9 touchdowns to the tight end position. In their last matchup a minute ago in 2021, week 4, he scored in. So I watched that game a little bit to see what we have basically the same exact type of offenses back then. So I kind of wanted to see what kind of offense we would run. Goddard looked pretty involved. So I think he scores a touchdown this weekend. We've been targeting the Chiefs slot this whole entire playoffs. It's been a cash cow. Some other novelty props that I like for the weekend. I mean, the Super Bowl MVP props, those are pretty obvious of which ones to bet. You would probably want to take Hurts, Mahomes, and Kelsey. And then the only other ones that I really like are the Gatorade color props. Those don't really come out until this weekend. And then other novelty props are like, I feel like the national anthem. Usually you always bet the under on the national anthem, and then no touchback on the first kickoff. Those are just a quick little couple plays to get you started before the actual game starts. And Rihanna halftime Super Bowl for her song. They have the odds out on DraftKings for it, and I think that is going to be on my betting card. I'm not gonna lie. The odds were pretty juicy. It was like minus 500 for like the top one. So that's something more. Follow me over on Twitter. We'll talk about the Rihanna halftime props, but there's a lot of plus monies in that Rihanna halftime Super Bowl show.
I know a lot of us are going to football Super Bowl parties on Sunday. I'm not. I'm hosting a live stream here, and I really want to get you involved. I know you may be going out, but if I get you a part of the show for even if it's just a short period of time, I would love that. So, Brizzy, I'll be reaching out to see if we get you involved. But I love working with you. I love watching you cap. And what a year you've had, 45 and 40 here, plus 6.65 units. And you have the Eagles plus 7.5 and over 43.5 minus 151. Quez Watkins under 1.5 receptions minus 120. Eagles first half team total over 13 at minus 110. Snead over 5.5 tackles at minus 125. Anytime touchdown, Kelsey minus 115. Hurts plus 100 and Goddard plus 175. I love it, Brizzy. Where can everybody follow you, Brizzy?
Yeah, follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills. Big weekend this weekend, UFC 283. So, with the UFC event, we always got some different events that we do and stuff like that over here at Pub Sports Radio. So make sure you head over to the website /contest and join up. Slaughter's always giving out cash prizes to the winner. And can't wait to party it up in San Antonio. It's starting to creep up around the corner. Big Show was talking to me about it yesterday. It's that time of year. We're going to cash on some UFC that weekend and then absolutely drink our faces off by the end of Sunday. Closing ceremonies might be a blackout ceremony.
As we do those, that's missing the slap fest at the strip club on Friday night at 1 a.m. That's also missing. Jose is the host of that show, so I have no idea at that point, but that is $1,000 cash prize. That's Friday night.
Ivan's Club. That's where they got the cheap drinks at. I like it.
Oh, that sounds good to me. And then also we have a stand-up comedy show, and Slaughter wants to continue that tradition every year at Pubapalooza, have a closed night and comedy show. So Sun Dizzle will be or the headliner of that one.
Is this
Excellent.
the same one from last year?
No, we're going to switch comics each year.
I was gonna say, because the one from last year did not get the best reception.
Yeah, it's a tricky business.
I had fun times with him. So right?
Brizzy, great job this year. You are currently ranked 5th out of 21 cappers. We're moving on to our next guest. We go from South Jersey up to Kingston, Ontario for your next guest. And he has been excellent this year. He had a rough divisional round here that set his record back, but we all cap with him and we know his skill set. So Super Bowl bounce back for your next guest. Please welcome Birdie to the show. Birdie, how are you, my friend?
I'm very good, thank you. Well, Super Bowl bounce back, we'll see, because it sounds like I'm going to be totally opposite of everybody that's been on the show thus far. Yeah, it's the way the year's gone. I mean, I bet San Fran and they lose their 3rd and 4th string quarterback. It's just the way the year's gone. But hey, the record is what it is. This is a great show. There's great cappers on it. I learn a lot from everybody here, and it only makes you better, and I'm ready to go tonight.
DX Father says, Birdie on KC.
Yes, sir, DX. Yes, sir.
Well, take it
Yes,
away,
sir.
buddy. The floor
Okay.
is yours.
The reality is we have a quarterback that's now in his 3rd Super Bowl, and we have a quarterback that's in his 1st Super Bowl. To me, that until Hurts shows me in a big game that he can be the guy, I am going to go with Patrick Mahomes here. Just a few things that I like about KC in this spot. Against the NFC, they scored 24, 26, 44, 41, and 44 points against NFC teams. On the road, they've scored 44, 41, 44, 30, 31, 30, 34, and 24 this year. So on the road against the NFC, I like what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Spags can do in this game. One of the things I learned this week is Spagnuolo in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl specifically, amps up his pressure. Casey's not really they're like the Eagles for most of the year. They rush 4. Spags brings the pressure. He ups it about 25 to 30%. I mean, he's beat Tom Brady. He beat the 49ers, but that Brady win that year when they were 15-0, all they had was a front 4 and 2 linebackers. And they got enough pressure on Brady that he just couldn't function. Different type of quarterback, I understand. Hurts is a bit more mobile. But when you're in the biggest game of the year with every eyeball in the world looking at you, the pressure amps up, and it's hard. And I mean, his only other opportunity at a national championship, the coach thought so much of him, he benched him. So the reality of it is I can't put my money on that guy right now. So if I go down on Kansas City, I go down on Kansas City. I just think Kansas City's got a bit more veteran presence with Mahomes, and it's going to shine through here. And I don't think the Eagles are going to score many points.
So you not only trust Mahomes vehemently, but you believe Spagnuolo's defense is going to be able to shut down Hurts. What do you want to make official here for our record-keeping purposes?
Okay, I'm going to go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire in this game. Happy that he's back. If you go back and look at last time these two teams played, it was a Tyreek Hill game. Tyreek Hill's no longer here. So what Clyde Edwards-Helaire does is allow him to run the football and allows Pacheco to get out wide. He's the fastest guy on this team. What we saw last week, what we hadn't seen, is Pacheco catch the football. And I think that's significant here, because I think what's going to happen is Pacheco's going to be the guy that ends up pushing the field, pushing the ball down the field, because the reality of it is the Eagles are not going to worry about deep passes because the Chiefs haven't shown it this year at all. And he's the one threat they have from a speed perspective that can get wide now that Hardman can't play. And I think we see a couple shots to him deep, whether it's a wheel route or however they scheme him up. I think Hilaire being back is going to be big for Kansas City because they also got 200 yards rushing on this Eagles defense the last time they played. Granted, no Sue, no Quinn, but the Eagles still have shown this year you can run on them. And I like Andy Reid in this spot, game planning, that type of offensive attack. So we're going to go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire anytime touchdown at plus 150. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire 2 touchdowns in the game at 10-1.
Wow.
And we're going to go with Kansas City to win every quarter, or to be leading at the end of every quarter at plus 340. Kansas City to win at the half.
Wait, slow down a bit. Sorry to say every
Sorry.
quarter. Ahead of every quarter was at what? Plus
350.
350. Okay.
And then Kansas City to be leading at the half and full game at plus 180.
Chiefs first half full game plus 180. Okay.
And we're going to go with because I think the only guy on Kansas City, even though I have Edwards-Helaire playing a big game, I think he can get 2 of those touchdowns in short yardage. The only guy on Kansas City that could take this MVP is Pacheco, because Pacheco, I believe, will also be running kickoffs and he'll be doing punt returns because he's a playmaker. And I think he has the ability to make enough plays in this game at 110-1. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on Pacheco to win the MVP in this game.
Jesus. Okay. 100. Okay. I'll do the numbers there. Okay. Yeah.
All right. And I think that's about all. Okay. Sorry. Total punts over 7.5 at plus 120. As I say, I think we're going to see some. We're going to see some punts in this game. I think the Eagles are going to struggle to score in this big of a moment, and I hope I get proven wrong for DG's sake, because I know Dennis is a massive Eagles fan, and I'm rooting for him hard. And I know you'll be on the Eagles, but Dennis is a true Eagles fan, and if I lose because the Eagles won, I'm happy for Dennis.
You have the punts over 7.5. Doesn't that correlate with an under, full game under?
I do like the under, yes. I'm not going to give it. You were already talking about it. I do like the under. I've got a bunch of personal bets that I'll make. I haven't really done much to the sides, really, because I still don't know how I'm going to bet it. But, yeah, I do like the under, and I'll be on the under in some capacity.
Chiefs ahead at every quarter, plus 350. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, anytime touchdown, plus 150. And 2 touchdowns, plus 1,000. Chiefs first half full game, plus 180. Pacheco MVP, 110-1. And that will give you the belt right there.
That won't give me the belt. If I get that, listen, Ian and Ragu and Spencer and Brizzy, these guys have been consistent all year. I came on here, I talked out games. If you listen to my breakdowns, there was money to be made off not the picks I gave. The hardest part about betting the NFL is understanding how to bet it, something I'm learning every week. But those guys are just, they do it every day. And I strive to be like them. So props to Ian, man. He's been consistent all year, and he deserves a lot of credit. He comes on here, he fires away, and he's winning. So, I mean, you can't say anything more, and you can't want anything more from free content than that. And Big Ragu, I love him to death, and I can't wait to spend some one-on-one time with him live. Hopefully we can make that work down the road, because I know I can learn a shit ton from him. And learning from Pete a little bit. I didn't know Pete, so just getting to know Pete. And respect the hell out of him a lot too. And last but not least, I'm going to shout out Dommy Gun, craziest New Yorker I've ever met, and I can't wait to hang out with him and you down the road.
Oh, will happen for sure. And you are on your way. Please follow Birdie on Twitter at Birdie_bets. And, you know, I can understand your Chiefs looks. You know, I get it. I can understand them. I think that the Eagles are just such a complete squad. it's difficult for me to find weakness in the Eagles. And it is also with the Chiefs. Obviously, they're the two best teams in the NFL, but I find it easier to find the holes in the squad with the Chiefs. But looks here from Birdie. Chiefs headed every quarter plus 350. Allaire, single touchdown, 2 touchdowns. Chiefs first half full game. And Pacheco MVP, and punts over 7.5. We go from Kingston back to NYC. Your next guest is as much of a legend as any of the cappers that we look up to, and he's not on our shows enough. And then I miss him. And he's here right now. He was only with us for 2 weeks during the season, and I can only hope that we get more of him in the future. I love the man. Please welcome New York City, Dommy Gun Richie. Dommy, how are you, my man?
Jimmy. What's happening, buddy? How's everything?
Everything.
Good to see that face of yours.
Thank you, buddy.
How's everybody out in Publand doing? We are rocking here in New York City. I'm excited. Super Bowl 5 days away. It's looking good. And shout out to Birdie, man. Birdie's the best. Love you, Birdie. A real nice thing he said about everybody. It's so sincere, and we know it's from the heart. So, man, got to shout out to Birdie.
Oh, absolutely, Dommy Gun Richie. Your hockey team has taken our captain from Vancouver over to Long Island for 8 years. And
they need something.
Well, they might have had it. It looks like they could put out together a little run. But we're talking Super Bowl 57 here at Dommy Gun. And we want to know how you are getting paid in this one. Take it away. The floor is yours. Chiefs, Eagles.
I don't have a lot of bets in with different prop bets. I usually save them for the end. I'm not the biggest prop player, but of course, for the Super Bowl, you got to throw in some props. But I do have a couple things to help you along in case you are playing some basic props. I found something about the touchdowns. It's for Hurts. 24% chance that he has 0 touchdowns. 34% he throws 1. 24.5% he throws 2. 11.5% he throws 3. And 4+ is at 5.6%. Now check this one out. Holmes, 11%, 0 touchdowns. 24%, 1. 26%, almost 27, 2 touchdowns. 20% for 3, but 4 touchdowns or more, almost 18%. I thought that was telling. That kind of jumped up at me. There was a last 13 Super Bowls, 17 of the 26 starting quarterbacks have thrown at least 1 interception. And last year was Stratford threw 2. So there's always an interception or 2 in the Super Bowl. Something to keep your eye out on. Interceptions, another distribution hurts. 0 interceptions is 50%. Mahomes, 40%. That Hurts throws 1 interception is 34.5%. Mahomes, 36.5%. And 2+ interceptions. Hurts, 15%. Mahomes, 23%. So if you're betting interceptions, that might help you. If you're betting touchdowns, that might help you. As far as the game is concerned, I didn't put no props in, but first of all, I love the both tight ends. Tight ends have been getting paid all through these playoffs. If you notice, they just been every game they've been getting paid. And I had Goddard in the last 2 games in some fashion or another, which helped. I had my usual roller coaster season this year in NFL. It's just so hard it's really hard NFL, and I don't plug it as much as I probably should. But the last 2 weeks have just been beautiful, and it was all Eagles. I was heavy on the Eagles for the Giants. And you know me, I'm usually a one-unit guy, but it was different. I thought that there was no way the Giants were going to win that game, and it wasn't too popular around here with that bet. And then last week against the 49ers, and it's kind of the same thing I'm hearing about the Chiefs. Everybody loved the 49ers last week, and I know that their guy got hurt, Birdie got hurt, I know all that. But their defense didn't stop nobody. The Eagles still scored 35 points on that defense that I think is, on paper, better than the Chiefs' defense. So I kind of like the Eagles in a lot of different ways. I can't believe I'm looking at Bet Online right now, Jim, and both team totals in the first half been knocked down to 12.5. both at minus 135, which, you know me, I don't like to be over that 140, 130. But both are at 12.5. I almost feel like taking both of them. I can't believe I'm looking at it right now. Bet online.
I think that no matter how good your defense is, you need to keep them off the field.
Right.
If your defense is going to be on there for 37 minutes, you also
That's it.
need
agree with you.
hope. You need hope. And the 49ers had no hope. And the defensive intensity, once the score became,
the air got
21-7.
taken out of them.
So-
I agree 100% with that.
I think
But I
it's-
like the Eagles a lot. And I do heard you talking about the total. I like the over. I can't see how there's not. I don't see how it does not go over, especially in that dome stadium, like Brizzy mentioned. And, you know, that's how I kind of look at it. But if you want to know so Mahomes, right, number one passing yards this year, right? 5,200, 5,250, 5,250. Eagles number one in net passing yards allowed. So something has to give, right? I think, you know, the Eagles defense isn't going to be as good. It's the Super Bowl. You know, fluke things happen. I think it could easily go into like 54 points or better in this game. You know the refs are going to give the Chiefs at least 2 extra possessions that could turn into points. You know they're going to get 2 weird calls that they're going to get because this is the Chiefs and this is the way it is. And I felt that's what happened last week. Not on the last play, of course. That was just ridiculous on you know, for the Bengals. That was a ridiculous hit on the at the end. But anyhow, my weird Super Bowl betting angle is which I've done 3 out of 4 years and have profited. I've done it 4 years, profited 3 years. And what I do is I parlay the team I like, which is the Eagles, in their money line, and I've been doing it since last week. And all the guys, you know, at Who Banging and all in our chats that we have, our private chats with Doc and DJ and everybody, they all know what I've been doing. I have now, after tonight's over in the UConn game, that's another parlay I have with the Eagles money line. I have right now, last week I took James Madison twice with the Eagles at plus 204. Hit both of those. So I got the Eagles open plus 204 twice. Then last night I took a 3-teamer with Kansas minus 200, North Colorado -1 at minus 110 with the Eagles, and the money line went up to minus 125, the one I took last night. But that was plus 410. So then tonight I took Marquette, which I lost. I took the over 147.5 in that game, and then I took an extra bet and parlayed it with the Eagles again. So I hit that at plus 243. So now I really got a 5-1 money line on the Eagles right now. So of course I'm going to at least free roll because I'm not going to. I'm never going to not hedge that out somehow. I'm just not that risky of a player. I'm a grinder, and you know, the older I get, the more I'm grinding. You know? So that's just the way it is. But if this line would actually move a little bit, which I don't think it would, but if the Eagle money starts getting crazy and this actually moves to like 2.5, I'll put, you know, it'll be great. I could actually middle some stupid middle, but it could happen, but I can't lose. So that's my way I play Super Bowls, and it's working out. I'm going to try to hit it 2 more times. For the parlays. And full disclosure, the 2-team parlays were only just $50 each, and the 3-teamer was $100. So now it's starting to get to be decent. You know, let's see. Maybe I'll be free rolling for $1,000 or better.
What do you want to make official here for my record keeping purposes and for us to talk about on our live Super Bowl?
We'll take the Eagles first half team total over 12.5, and minus 135 is the line I'm looking at now. I don't think there's would be much better. Billy said he mentioned it was 13, so it's worth it for me to get that 12.5. I think that's a great number. But I don't want to take both. So that's my play. I'll take the Eagles at whatever the best money line you have. I'll take the Eagles money line, minus 120, minus 125, whatever it is.
Sure, we can get you minus 119.
Okay.
And we can
where is that, Jim?
Minus 119 money line right now for the Eagles is at Pinnacle.
Oh, okay.
But it's we'll usually see right now about minus 125.
Yeah,
There are some
that's what
minus
I bet today.
120s. Bovada minus 120. 5 dimes. There you go. Minus 118. That's the best one. Five
Right.
times.
Okay,
Give you that. Eagles
that
minus
works.
118. Eagles first half team total over 12.5 at minus 145. Anything else you want to add to your action?
No, that's all I'm doing right now. Like I said, I don't really bet the props really to Sunday. I'll be looking at some kind of receiving props with. Oh yeah, the rushing prop. That guy, one of the biggest returns on investment on the rushing props on the ones I have up now is Boston Scott. He's over 7.5 rushing yards. The guy always seems to get a touch or really a touchdown in a lot of these big games. The Eagles always seem to go to him in a weird spot. 8 yards might be worth a look at that. It's something weird that jumped out at me. But
No
yeah,
doubt. It was just that
know?
Gainwell's taken
yeah.
so many, such a chunk of the attempts for the Eagles that it's hard to. But we watched Sharpie. Sharpie 2 weeks ago gave us Boston Scott anytime touchdown at plus 400 in that cash.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I get
that's
the
great,
Boston
man.
Scott look. It's an interesting look for sure.
That is great.
Dom,
But yeah, so that's how I'm looking at it. So you're really a little bit toying with that total. You don't know, you're on the fence with that, or you're still looking at.
I just want to keep things real.
Yeah.
So I would
hear
rather
you.
bet more money and only bet the Eagles money line and then be ready to attack it live. And
Right.
by more money, I don't mean much more also.
I got you.
I don't, but I more than a unit. So $20 unit. I could go more. I wouldn't want to have more than, definitely not more than 2.5 units. That would be my max
Okay,
pregame
right.
bet, and I don't think I want that. I think I'd rather just have about
I agree with you. I'm not
300
just
or
'cause
400.
Yep.
And then-
I'm with you. I agree.
And then get in live. Dommy, we miss you. Man, we'd love
Thanks,
to see
Jim.
you in San Antone if you get a chance to come
This
through.
I won't be able to make it this time, but maybe next time I will. It's a tough time of year for me, but it's a great thing that you guys are doing that, and I will be there in spirit. And let's get together in the next week or two and have a little talk. We haven't talked in a while. Get a little break maybe now in the next week or two. So
I'd love that.
I know it's so busy for you during NFL season.
Oh,
It's always busy for you.
I would love that, Dommy Gun.
Okay,
Richie,
man, I'll reach out to you.
Where can everybody find you? Quick,
I'm on Twitter at Dom541. I'm hanging with the team who banging guys. You know that, and that's it. And I will be. I take my breaks in the wintertime. I'm always in and out, but baseball season's coming back up. You'll be seeing me every day back in the chat. I got a lot of things working when it's coming on towards baseball season. Working on a project to help out a lot of the new bettors coming up. So a lot of cool things going on. We'll talk. And shout out to everybody. Thank you very much. Love you at Pub for letting me come on again. And Jimmy, love you, brother.
I love you too, Dommy. Dommy Gun Richie, New York City in the house. We go from New York City up to Toronto. And your next guest has put on quite a performance here. Sharpie had our next guest. Now, I hammer thoroughbreds with him, and I know the kind of capper he is. But Sharpie was like, he came on live with us and cash this, cash that, cash this. We didn't get him on our show till week 8. Got him on week 8. He went 6-2 plus 3.88 units. He, on our show over the course of 7 weeks, went 26 wins, 18 losses, plus 9.81 units. Currently ranked 4th out of 21 cappers. And I love watching him work, man. This guy gets that cash. Please welcome from the 6, Mr. Spenny Penny Bombs. Spenny, how are you, my man?
How we doing, Jimmy? How we doing, chat? Let's get it going today. Let's get it going. We got a big week coming up.
Spenny, you come on our shows, whether you're live on them or in the chat, and you offer enormous. You really make a lot of moves. You make a lot of moves. So I'm just going to be ready to type. I'm ready to track. So the floor is yours. Take it away. How you getting paid Super Bowl 57?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely spread out a little bit. I like to take some shots. That's just the way that I am. So I definitely got a couple of plays that I'm looking at here. Some prop markets. But let's start off first and foremost. I'm on KC. I'm on the KC money line. Give me the Chiefs. I was on the Bengals big time. I'm disappointed, obviously, that I can't get the Bengals home. But I know we've heard early in the season, what is Mahomes going to do without Hill? What's this offense going to look like? This offense was one of the top offenses in the league. Mahomes leads the league in passing yards. Probably going to be MVP again this year. Takes his team to the Super Bowl. This guy just continually, impresses every time he steps onto the field. I think that Casey's defense should be able to get a little bit of pressure on Hurts. If they can get Hurts moving, making more throws on the run than he is comfortable with, I think they'll definitely have a better chance on defense. And I think Mahomes is going to get this done again on Sunday, and get us another Super Bowl win for him and KC. So that's first and foremost.
It will help if Andy Reid's son doesn't drink and drive into a young family.
That would be a good start if they don't have that news coming in.
It's nice to have some positive karma going around your team, and that didn't help. In the last time they were here. Look, I understand. So if you like the Chiefs, and I know we're going to get into player props, what do you want to do with the total? Or do you then feel like the over is going to be in play and the Chiefs are going to be able to score on this tough Eagles defense?
This total seems kind of sharp. Like, I feel like it could be, if anything, I still think that the Chiefs can get it done and it could still go under. Like, I could still see a 28-24 or something like that kind of game. Like, I could still see it going under.
I think it's going to be a perfect game to live bet. Just like I felt that the
27-24, sorry. So right around the total.
The Chiefs-Bengals game, the Chiefs games are great to live bet because we know exactly what Mahomes wants to do, and we know what the Chiefs want to do if they're ahead, and that's slow it down. It's the Brady school of offense.
Definitely.
Chiefs plus 108 money line. Spenny, what's next for you?
And then, I'm going to definitely get into some of these just random smaller prop markets they have for the Super Bowl going on here. I know the few people we've been talking about Kenneth Gainwell a bunch and how much more touches that he's been getting, how a little bit more involved in the offense that he's been getting. I think that we could be in for a decent Kenneth Gainwell game. I really like this guy. I really like the change of pace. I really like the way that he runs. KC's defense is vulnerable. So I'm going to take a long shot here, and I'm going to take Kenneth Gainwell to have the most rushing yards in the game at plus 900.
Wow. Kenneth Gainwell, most rushing yards, plus 900. He is an extremely intelligent football player.
Mm-hmm.
We've all seen that. We know he was a quarterback in college, but you really feel his intellect when he talks about the game and when he's on the field. Interesting look. Gainwell most rushing at plus 900. Very, very interesting look. Keep rolling.
Yeah, I just thought that was a lot of value for a guy that has come into the playoffs and shown his ability to, break a lot of runs and put up some, big chunks. So I think he could definitely be heavily involved in this game. So next I'm going to go into most net yards for the team. I'm going to go actually with KC here at plus 100. Again, like we were talking about earlier, we think that, the Eagles will try and slow the pace down, try and take the ball out of Mahomes' hands. But in reality, I still think Mahomes is probably going to be able to throw, at least 300 some odd yards. They'll be able to run the ball a little bit. I think that KC's be able to have more yards in this game, but the Eagles are going to try and do what they do and try and control the clock. But the KC is going to have to try and do more yards. They're a passing offense generally anyway, so that Mahomes is probably going to be throwing the ball 40, maybe even 50 times in this game.
Chiefs most net yards at plus 100. Interesting. Makes me nervous. I know this is we have the number one seed from each conference playing each other, and obviously there's going to be parity when you get to this level. If you're dealing with number one seeds, it does make me nervous that you're on the Chiefs makes me very, very nervous and uncomfortable. Keep rolling.
And then next one I'm gonna go to team with the most third down conversions. Gonna go back to KC here at plus 110. KC's been hitting at a 48%, a little bit over 48% on the season, 51% in their last 3 games. I think this is a game where we could see Mahomes in a few third and long situations where he's going to have to do that Mahomes magic, make some plays happen, pull that kind of play where we're just like, how the fuck did he do that kind of thing, right? And so I think Mahomes is going to be in a few third down and long situations. I feel like if the Eagles get into some third down situations, depending on where it is in the field, they'll take a chance at running the ball more on third down and going for it on fourth down. I think that's just the way that they've shown throughout the year, that they're willing to go for it more on fourth down. They'll take a chance on third, run it more, and then take that chance again on fourth down if they're 4th and 2, 3 kind of thing.
Can I jump in there quickly, because the league average on a 3rd and 10 or more to convert is 19%. And even when I read that, I was like, that's higher than I would think. That took me back. And then you see the Chiefs are at 43% on 3rd and 10 or more. They
have so many set plays, and I know that he's been injured and he's been able to escape the pocket a little bit more, but I think with a couple of weeks, I think the ankle will be a little bit better. I think he'll be able to swing out of the pocket a little bit more and create those plays that he's going to need to create. I think definitely if KC's in some third down situations, I think they're going to be able to pull it off for sure. Plus 110 for that one.
Plus 110, I got it. So most third down conversions, Chiefs plus 110. Keep rolling.
And then next one, I'm going field goals. Both teams to have a field goal of 34 plus yards at minus 115. I just think that again, if these teams are closer to the red zone, they're going to be willing to take those chances on fourth down, maybe go for it, trying to get into the end zone. But if they are a little bit further back, I feel like both these coaches are smart enough to take the points. 34 plus yards, I think that both they have reliable kickers, and they have faith in their kickers. And I definitely feel like if they're put in situations where they're 40 yards plus, 35 yards plus, they're willing to use their kickers in this game. So both kickers to have a field goal at 35 plus yards, I think was a decent bet there. Minus 115.
Yeah, I agree. Was that 30? So is it over 34 and a half, or do I put
So both kickers or both teams to have a field goal of 34 plus yards at minus 115.
Yeah, I've thought a lot about the punting and field goal props, and I'd like to get a little closer come Super Bowl. I'm really hesitant to make this fun.
Yeah.
Because I've had such a good season, and I would rather just keep everything clean.
Right, I get it. You want to keep the record clean, just keep it nice and
but also
straight.
The cash clean.
Yeah.
Who needs fun? I love this shit.
I love money. Who needs? It's all the fun you need right there.
And it took everything for me not to take LeBron under 32 and a half. I spent 30 minutes talking to Sonny about it. It took everything for me not to bet LeBron over 7.5. I was like, I don't need this. I'm having enough. I get enough joy out of this. And I'm trying to keep that clean for the Super Bowl. This isn't like, I'm not sitting here with, $20 bets for fun. I want to make money, keep shit clean, and get that cash. And
for sure.
But it's very tricky, and the field goal prop that you just mentioned is quite appealing at this point. So keep rolling. Both teams field goal over 34 and a half.
Yeah. And then I actually have either team to have a 2-point conversion at plus 120. I think there could be a chance in this game where one of the teams just says, let's just go for it here. Let's just take a chance to see if we can take a little bit of an extra lead here, maybe push it to 8 points or something like that. Make the team have to try and, do a 2-point conversion on their own. But I also could see Butker or Elliott, and more Butker, I think, missing an extra point, because he has missed a few a little bit more recently in the year. So I could see the Chiefs definitely going for a 2-point conversion, and I could even see the Eagles going for it. So plus 120, I'll take a shot on that. So
many different game scripts.
Yeah.
So Dan, I need you to see that. I'm trying so hard not to look at the scores. there's so many different game scripts where one of the teams has a 2-point conversion. I mean, you could just keep one after another, after another, and after another.
Sure.
These are very appealing props that you're on. Keep rolling.
And then so that I think that's good for me for like those kind of props. I got some player props now that I was looking at. I like Gainwell over 35.5 rushing receiving yards, or 36.5, sorry, rushing receiving yards it is now, at -115.
Rush and receiving at -115. I mean, I questioned Bobano last week going back to the well on Gainwell, and he had more rushing yards than Miles Sanders. So it's time to stop questioning it and start believing in it. So Gainwell over 36.5 rushing receiving -115. What's next?
I like same thing with a couple of the guys earlier, Babano and a few guys. I like Goddard as well. I like Goddard over 40. I think it's 48.5 receiving yards now, -110. I think he's just going to be, if they get a little bit of pressure, he's going to be that dump down guy in the middle of the field. He definitely loves using Goddard. So I think 48.5 receiving yards. Definitely he's going to be heavily involved in this offense on Sunday. So I definitely like that. Everybody was all over Kelsey. Again, same thing. I like Kelsey as well. I'm going to take a shot with Kelsey, 8+ receptions at +130. Again, I think he's just going to be a target mule. There's not a whole lot of other people that on the team that he relies on more than Kelsey. Even if it's just short passes, he'll try and get the ball in his hands as much as possible. So 8+ receptions +130. And then I also like AJ Brown, 6+ receptions at +135. Again, another reliable guy. This is the game you went out and got AJ for. So you got to use him. You got to attack the defense with AJ. Just get the ball in his hands again. Same thing. This is the game that you got AJ for. So 6+ receptions +135. I like that shot as well. I was really hoping that they were going to have Sky Moore props for receiving yards or anything like that, but I don't think he's listed anywhere that I've seen, at least on FanDuel and Bet365 and stuff like that. But I do believe that Sky Moore is going to be a decent part of this offense come Sunday, with Tony and Juju and everybody that have been injured and not practicing, especially last week. I'm not sure how much they're going to practice this week. I feel like Sky Moore was definitely schemed in this offense come Sunday. So I took a shot on Sky Moore touchdown. It was +1200 when I took it the other day, but I think it's +950 right now.
Anytime touchdown on Sky Moore. Yeah. +950?
Yeah.
Got it.
And then one last little shot, TD parlay. Kelsey, Hurts, Goddard, and Tony at +74.88.
Kelsey, Hurts, Goddard. Who's the last one you mentioned there? Kelsey, Hurts, Goddard,
and Tony. Kadarius Tony.
Kadarius. Okay, and Tony, and that was what?
+74.88 on FanDuel.
I love it. That is fun action. Anything else you want to add before we review?
No, I think I got everything. The only other one that I was potentially looking at that I hadn't pulled the trigger on was maybe AJ Brown to have the most receiving yards in the game at +300. I haven't pulled the trigger on it, but I do kind of like it because I think, again, if they're going to take shots, he should be the guy they're taking shots to. I could see him going well over 100 yards in that game. So I might take a shot on it. I haven't decided yet.
He's got a size advantage over the DBs, and you have to utilize that here. That AJ Brown can be a bully, and you need it. What a fun group of bets you have here, Spenny. Chiefs. Let me know if I've got anything wrong here. Chiefs +108. Gainwell most rushing yards +900. Chiefs most net yards +100. Chiefs most third down conversions +110. Both teams for a field goal over 34.5 -115. 2-point conversion, yes, at +120. Gainwell over 36.5 rushing receiving at -115. Goddard over 48.5 receiving at -110. Kelsey 8 or more receptions at +130. AJ Brown 6 or more receptions at +135. Sky Moore anytime touchdown at +950. And the parlay, Kelsey, Hurts, Goddard, Tony +74.88.
Perfect. Got it all, baby.
Oh, what a fun group of bets you have, Spenny. I will be in touch with you over the next couple of days for sure. But man, what season that you've had here on the show, and we want more of you. We want more of you here on Pub. So keep up the great work. Plus 9.81 units on only 7 shows. That's how good Spenny Penny Bomb has been here with us. Follow him at PennyG_8. Or Pennygy is we always said Penny, but it's Penny PENYIGE_8 at Penny_8. Thank you for your time, man, and your insights. Let's get that.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a great night, guys.
There he is, Spenny Penny Bombs. 2 cappers left for us, and we head over to the West Coast for these ones. And man, does your next capper ever put a smile on my face? I've enjoyed our live stream so immensely. He just brings so much life and action and excitement and humor and knowledge to our channel. Please welcome from San Diego, California, Mr. Sharpie's Bets in the house. Sharpie, how are you, my man?
I'm doing all right. Just got my wang sucked on for how long fucking our guy Spenny was going. I could have told her not to hurry, so feel bad that I got a quick little Hummer, but I mean, I could have enjoyed it, I guess. But let's get to the fucking money.
Spenny got a lot of good looks, though.
My God, bro, I had to pull out my toes because I could only count out to 10 on my hands, so I needed my toes for that one.
Sharpie, the 57th Super Bowl awaits here. We are in sweet State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. How you getting paid?
I mean, did you just say it right there? State Farm Stadium with the kid who does the State Farm commercials? I don't even know what people have said they're on or whatnot because I've been getting high and getting Hummers, like I said. But I'm on the Chiefs money line, guys. And do you not know Mahomes' record as a dog ATS? Like, do we need to go there? Do we need to talk about Andy Reid being 27-4 off a bye week? Do we need to talk about 3-0 versus his old team? This is just too much time for one of the best coaches in all of football. You're gonna give me dog money with it? Like, yeah, gotta go with it. I every time he's been a dog, I've been there so far throughout his career, so I'm not fucking backing down now. Joe Buck Nasty couldn't do it, so let's see if these Eagles can. And I'm on the first half over 23.5 at -135. This is something, even with I've been playing Eagles team totals, and instead of going Eagles team total, I really just took both sides. Like I said, I like Andy Reid off a bye week. I like the way the Eagles coach scripts his first 25 plays. The Eagles all year have been a first half team and died out second half. A lot of those times they've had the lead. I get it, but still, they haven't shown me what they can do when they're down. We don't know if they're going to be down. We haven't seen that pretty much all freaking year with Jalen Hurts. So went 23.5. I didn't pick the Eagles team total over. Instead, I just took both. And then I went Chiefs touchdown and field goal yardage over 98.5 at -115. I know Spenny was talking about he trusts both coach. I don't trust the Eagles coach. That dude's a jackass. He's going to go for it on 4th down when he shouldn't. I know Andy Reid won't. Andy Reid showed us 2 times in the red zone. He ain't fucking playing. He's taking his points when the points are given to him. I can bank on that with Reid. So I'm going to take the Chiefs touchdown with field goal yardage combined over 98.5. I liked attacking it that way, seeing I am on that Chiefs money line already.
That's interesting prop. I can't remember hearing anybody betting it before, but
well, combined was 198.5, but I really, if I could just get touchdown yardage from the Eagles, I'd go that way because I don't trust them to kick field goals. They go for it on 4th more than anybody else.
And there's a lot of cappers who think field goals are going to be scored in this game. Touchdown field goal yardage over 98.5. What was the juice on that?
-115, but that's strictly the Chiefs yardage I took.
Yes, strictly the Chiefs. Chiefs touchdown field goal yardage over 98.5 -115. Interesting. Interesting. Keep rolling.
Those are legit the only 3 bets I got in. I got a prop show that we do with Billy and Big Show on Friday, so we'll get into that on there. But the prop they weren't offering me yet in the specials or anything is I want first touchdown in the first 6 minutes or whatever the fuck they're gonna give it to me. These are 2 explosive offenses, and especially I know the Chiefs aren't going to be pressured. They've been in this spot how many times now? So I expect points to be scored quick and by either which side. So I want touchdown or points within the first whatever the hell it comes out at.
Chiefs plus 108. First half over 23.5 at minus 125. Chiefs touchdown field goal yardage over 98.5 at minus 115 for Sharpie's bets. Sharpie, you began your MLB coverage today. Do you want to let our friends know about what you have planned this week?
Yeah. Thanks to you. You joining me with Ian as well. We did the American League today. It's out on Pub Sports Radio. We went through every team, graded them for their offseason, talked about their wins totals, talked about everything that's happened. So just to look at what's happened on the 2022-2023 offseason, look ahead before spring training and the World Baseball Classic starts in a week to 2 weeks, depending on which one. So baseball's coming, guys. If you don't know, we fuck them in the eye hole on Pub Sports Radio. I ain't the only one. A lot of people make good money during baseball season. So just get in the car, slam the fucking door, get in the trunk if you got to. Sometimes the mouth, you got to put your earmuffs on and have your wife watch my show. But money will be made like it is every year in the baseball season.
I love it. And you have your big Friday show for the good, the bad, and the money. And Jose Bouquet has his World Baseball Classic content coming starting Friday. So Friday got World Baseball Classic. So you have Jose covering World Baseball Classic, and you have Sharpie covering the National League and American League changes in the offseason. We grade them and we talk about what our futures bets are going to be. So a lot of content coming up. Sharpie, love working with you, man. I'm going to be reaching out to you because I really love to have you involved for the Super Bowl. So I'll be reaching out to you in the next little bit to see if I can get you to jump on live. But excellent work, my man. Again, Chiefs plus 108, first half over 23.5, and Chiefs touchdown field goal yardage over 98.5, minus 115. Follow Sharpie on Twitter at Sharpie's Bets. Anything else you want our
I'm coming for that damn Super Bowl stream. I heard about parties. The only party I got is in that girl's mouth, and I already came, so I'm gonna fucking be there, bro.
Okay. My story is a little more boring. It's just that you guys are all, well, I shouldn't say all I've got. I do have a family I love, but I will be here drinking heavily with you. Let's move on. We have one more guest, and we head to Las Vegas, California for him. But he, for whatever reason, he shoots right on screen immediately when he comes on. So he tries to plan it out properly. So I'm expecting him to be on screen here almost any second. Almost any, and now there, look at it's magic what this man does. Mac Daddy come to us from Las Vegas, Nevada. You watch this man cash on every sport that's available to be cashed on. It's so much fun with the horses with you on Saturday. He's the star of all of our college programming, whether it be NCAA football or NCAA basketball. Also, the star alongside Mr. Ghoster of our golf programming. We have the unicorns in Canada who cap all the sports, but there's not many in America. And you are a unicorn in that regard. How are you, my man?
I'm good. I got slapped last week. Everything fell apart with Birdie. And I thought the Eagles, the whole game plan went to shambles. And then even the last game, I thought Kelsey cashed. They took away that last reception, which I didn't know about until later that night. I guess we were on screen. I didn't even see. They took it away. So it was rough, but I'm firing. Let's roll.
And we know how it works. I had that happen, in college basketball on Friday, and like it just, the one thing my dad only wanted from me as an athlete was to get up faster than I went down. That was all he asked for. He didn't care if I scored. He didn't care. He said, "You better get up faster than you went down." And it's the same thing with capping. And sometimes I let the losses hurt me. But look,
I went after it here. We were on the tail end. I was trying to pump up a little bit. Pull a Ragu, even though, you know what I mean? So maybe I would have been a little bit tame with some of the looks. But hey, it is what it is. Let's get to the Super Bowl.
We believe in you, C-Mac. Let's get to work right now. Super Bowl 57. Our headliner is here. His name is Connor Mack. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, I'm on the Eagles here. This is my first bet. I got this a few days ago, but I don't know if I'm going to go full game. This is pretty earlier Tuesday, but I'm on them first quarter. This team was not only one of the best first quarter teams. I got plus 105. It's still around like minus 105 right now, right around there. Not only that, the best first half team. They scored on a ton of first drives. This team, I just thought, is good early. They're scripted early. So I want the Eagles first quarter touchdown plus 105. I do like, I'm not going to make it official. I do like, I know, Dom said it's down to 12.5. I think they get 2 touchdowns with that as well. So add that on. I'll take the over 12.5, or give me the 12.5, whatever best number you can get.
So your look on the first quarter is a touchdown for the Eagles.
Touchdown first quarter in the first quarter, TD plus 105.
Wow, that's God. We've had so many looks that have taken me back. This is an interesting one. Eagles, and then let me just pull up because I've got it up right now. Let me just grab Penny's first half team total. Their team total, you're right. It's minus 129. Do we want to use the team total over 13 instead of 12.5?
Give me the 13. There could be 2 field goals, but the way they go for it on fourth down too much with Sirianni. I mean, I'll go with the 13 or 13.5, whatever you can get.
All right, let's grab that. I'm going to line chop for you while you rock, so keep rolling.
Okay. Yeah, I think a few people mentioned this. I'm on Gainwell. Is over 4.5 rush attempts. He's at least, I think, going to get 6 or 7. It seems like they found, some comfort giving him the rock, especially as the year's gone on and the last few games. Even some of the bad games, especially towards the second half of the year, I mean, it's 5, 6 for 35 for 39. That's why I'm on. I'm on his attempts. It's 4.5. I got minus 120. That's the lowest I could find. And I got his over 19.5 rushing yards. That I think he gets for sure. He gets over 20. Has been money for him. And I do think he gets a ton of carries. See, I think Hurts can even get there, or Sanders. They're just going to run it. I'm going to stay off that. I think Hurts can get over the 50. I'm not going to mess around, though. I thought of that a lot. And his attempts at 10.5, I looked at it. Even last week, I didn't think like he ran, but he ran a little bit down there. He still had 11 attempts. Did Hurts in that game. But in the end, I'm going to stay off. Let's get to the receiving. I'm on Goddard.
Wait, can I hold you back here for a second? Gainwell over 4.5 rush attempts at minus 120. Over 19.5 rush yards at
minus 110.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, keep rolling.
19.5 minus 110. He might even get in the end zone. Everyone's scoring down there. It seems. Eagles have played. People will say maybe easier schedule. I mean, I brought that up, or quarterback out, easy Giants team that they saw for a second week in a row. But I think the Chiefs are in this game. That's why I'm not going full game. But I'm on Goddard. I think he's the safety blanket. Chiefs have struggled with tight ends at times, and I think Devonta Smith could have some success. I'm going to wait on that there, but I like his over 48.5 receiving yards, minus 105 in this game. And that's it. I'm going to stay off his TD because I can't get a good price. I waited on that, and that's dropped too low right now. I can't get over 175.
Sorry, C-Mac, I'm sorry. I'm line shopping for you for the team total. I did just find the 12.5 at minus 135. So we're dropping. I'm going to find the 13, but while I'm
13.5.
I missed that last prop while I was searching. So can you hit me with it again?
Just Goddard over 48.5 receiving yards, minus 105.
Okay, you got it. Goddard over 48.5 receiving yards, minus 105. Thank you.
Yep, that's it. I didn't jump on his TD earlier in the week, and it's just starting to fall. He's down to like a lot of places, 150, 160, because I think he could find the back of the end zone. And I might be on another prop or two with the Eagles, but that's enough for me here. Flip it to the Chiefs. This is one I'm going to wait because I don't think he plays, Jimmy. I think it's very minimal with Hilaire. I want to go back. I think Birdie mentioned it. No one's really talked about the game last year. Chiefs had big success. This is a year later, but that 42-30 game, and that's what tends me to. And just the more I think of this game goes over. I as much as I love an under, but I'm not going to be on the total. That's a live thing I might get on. I think there might be points in this game. But Pacheco, I think he gets over 48.5. I'm going to stop. I want to look into that more because I don't think Hilaire really gets many touches.
Were you
They're saying he's-
surprised? Were you surprised that Birdie was on the Edwards-Helaire props?
Yeah, I was, but it's such a big price. I mean, he was going for, kind of a score, right?
Yeah.
10-1 down there. And that's the key too. The receivers out. You look at Scantling had that massive day. The guy no shows, and now Schuster, Hardman's out. They put him on IR. So it's just tough. Tony, Spenny Penny Bomb is my guy. Mentioned it. There's not a lot of more props out there. You can't really find. I think he could have a day. And another guy I'm going to look at is McKinnon. I just don't know. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be on his over 19.5 receiving yards. But let's get to it. Kelsey, give me the over 79.5 minus 110. And this is one I looked at a bunch because I don't play really those first touchdown props. Or if you do, you just throw, I don't know, $40 on one. But this was first touchdown for the team, Chiefs. Not anytime, just their first time touchdown. Kelsey plus 310. I thought there's a ton of value there. This guy's had touchdowns crazy. It seems like he's gotten a ton of first time touchdowns. So at plus 310, Chiefs first touchdown, Kelsey plus 310. I thought there's a ton of value with that look. Let's keep rolling. This one I'm going to play too as well. I think there's over 6 touchdowns in this game. I got it even money. Both teams combined over 6 touchdowns. Either way we get it. There's kind of a better one. I want to look into a little bit more. Both teams have scored 3 touchdowns each, but I'm going to stay off. Just give me 6 total touchdowns. We get there with both these teams at even money. And there's a few other specialty props I might throw a few bucks on, but this one I'm going to take with Butker. Spence mentioned there could be 2-point conversion. I'm going to take a missed extra point. I know they're in the dome. We're not dealing with much stuff there, but it was plus 325. I think we could see a doink. It's not the old kicking it real close anymore. These guys miss these all the time. So at plus 325, I took a stab at that. And that's it.
That's you got fun action. I will be reaching out, and I was a little late with the Super Bowl stuff because I was so focused on this show. But and I know a lot of you guys have parties to go to. I don't, so I'll be right here. And I'd love if you could be involved. So I'll reach out here. But I like your action. Really fun. So let's go over our guy C-Max action here. Eagles first quarter touchdown plus 105. Eagles first half team total over 13. I'm going to keep line shopping. I really want to find because it varies so quickly so much. I want to get you a good line. And we had another capper give it out, and I tried to find it, and I was like, I got to stay focused here. Gainwell over 4.5 rush attempts at minus 120, over 19.5 rush yards at minus 110. Goddard over 48.5 receiving yards, minus 105. Kelsey over 79.5 receiving yards, minus 110. Chiefs first touchdown at plus 310. Over 6 touchdowns combined at even money, plus 100. And a missed extra point. It's not Butker, right? It's just a missed extra point.
Just a missed extra point. I just think he's been susceptible to those. Yeah, just a missed extra point, period. Plus 325.
More likely. Papa Kyle says he'll join the party. I love it. Papa Kyle's my guy. You've been so much fun to get. So they did find the anytime touchdown. Spenny found that for Sky Moore at plus 950, and Papa Kyle's talking about that. That's the only thing we've found so far for Sky Moore is the that plus 950 touchdown prop.
I'll see if I get on it. It's like it's just the Super Bowl. It's like, you know what I mean? Unless you have a real good to make a bet, that's why I have a little fun with these props. So you don't need to go crazy with this game. I think we're in for a good one too. I think we're in for a game. Some fireworks a little bit.
Yeah, these are 2 very good football teams. So I'm looking forward to it very, very much so as well. C-Mac, your schedule is thick as you have college basketball, golf. Also, I get them on Thursdays, betting with the bag every Thursday now. I get Connor Mack rolling on our show for college basketball. Anything you want to talk about coming up for you? Your golf show is every Monday.
Mondays,
College basketball show. What time is it on Mondays again? It's at
1 Eastern.
1 Eastern. Your college basketball show Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And at Connor Mack Picks. And baseball season coming up, and everybody.
I'll be with Sharpie on Thursday. I got a busy Thursday. I'll be with him National League. Hope me and Noli I'm pretty sure.
Oh, this Thursday coming up. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh
This
yeah, Thursday
coming up.
after your
Oh wow,
little
big one.
long day Thursday.
Yeah. We also we need your home run props. So people just ask
Yeah,
about it
I
all the
will.
time. They just keep asking about it. So I don't know how you want to handle it this year. If you want to put that together like a 2 or 3 minute video each or whatever
Yeah.
you want to do, but there's just too many people asking about it. So
Yeah, we're gonna do something this year, I think, with it.
cool.
We'll do a video. We'll work it out.
I love it. CMAC and the missed extra point at plus 325 to put a bow on it. CMAC, thank you for taking the time to share your insights with us. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Yeah, shout out to the chat. Best goddamn chat in the goddamn game, as I always say. Jimmy, thanks for having me as always. Let's get it. Super Bowl Sunday, baby. I can't wait. Thanks for having me, my man. I am pumped, to say the least. Thanks, brother.
Love it. Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, there's something special about a day where we celebrate a day drinking, and that's Super Bowl Sunday. That's the one day of the year. I mean, I know people spike their coffees on Christmas Day, but it's not cool to be hammered at noon or 1 p.m. But Super Sunday, baby, that's the day you're allowed to drink heavy in the daytime. And you know, it's I'm out east, so it's a little different. When I was out west, it was nice, you know. Hammered by 1:30, game about to pop off, but out east it's almost nighttime. This has been so much fun tracking these cappers all year long, and it's stressful for these guys who care so much about their success to have it publicized, their highs and their lows. And I give them all so much credit for just the trust in themselves to allow a capper like me to showcase their action and celebrate their wins and also discuss their losses, because that's what's missing in our industry, the honesty and transparency. And we had 21 cappers do our show, and obviously I pushed the ones who were winning more than the ones who were losing, but I thank the cappers who made this show special, our second season of NFL Pub Hub, and the chat. You guys really did it. We have nothing without you guys, and I truly mean that. Harold Williams, Terry Walker, Papa Kyle, Sky Dragon, Lucas Ryan, DX Filer, RVD 420, Marvelous Mike. There's the Big Ragu, Fat Wally, A, Yo, D, Nasty, Nate, Tone. Megan Tone gonna be running with us for the Super Bowl. I love that. Fat Wally, Nunya, the Nuke Worker, Terry Walker, Velo Cuts. Thank you guys. Noli knows. Thank you guys all. Also, it's a really tough show to produce, and Jose does such a great job doing it. So thank you, Jose, for all the effort and time that you put in, and it's tireless. You're cutting the videos up and sending out the invites and putting out, sending the records, everything that you do, and you do it just so comfortably. You put no stress on me whatsoever. You just anything I send you handle with such aplomb. So thank you, Jose, the heartbeat here of Pub Sports Radio. So there is our final NFL Pub Hub of the year. Now we will be starting our Super Bowl early. You know, I'm not sure how early, at least an hour early, and we're gonna get a bunch of, and we might go earlier than that because there's a bunch of cappers that weren't a part of our NFL Pub Hub, and I'd like to hear their looks. So we're gonna get a lot of there's a big Sunday, and then we move on to next year. And I guess I've just left saying thank you, and what a season we've had. You know, I really want an ROI of plus 5% in any sport. The sample size is a little smaller in NFL. But to sit here 185 bets in and be plus 11.05%, it's all of us working together. And I guess we'll close on, please join us, because we're all going to be hanging out together in San Antonio. And every year we're going to do it. So if you can't make it this year, know that this is going to be a yearly thing that we do right at this time, right at the end of March, Pub Up Palooza. And of course, I think we need to fix this sign, because there's no slap fest there, Jose, and it's become a big selling point. It's become a hell of a selling point. Harold Williams says, great NFL season. I've won a lot. Yeah, man. And that's what it always will come down to. It's going to come down to us succeeding. And we did that. And we need to do more of it. And we got our friends on other sides, but, you know, track your action and get that cash. And thank you for supporting us at Pub Sports Radio. Super Bowl 57 is next. Join us on Super Sunday and let's get fucking paid. Leche! Hey, Los Bookmakers. Palooza 2 on the horizon. We're going to have live shows popping off in the Southtown 101. We're going to have a poker tournament, a par 3 golf tournament, UFC San Antonio on the Saturday night. A lot of excitement. Palooza 2, baby.